is that after making a mistake, we need to face up to it. We need to tell the truth. That is integrity, telling the truth and honoring promises no matter the consequences.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god. 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 I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. Wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me. Put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grid 6 feet like Kenny. Call me a god. Call me a god. Call me a god.
I'm called of God. Called of God. And Tim Ballard told me he'd been called of God. Some wild-eyed prophet like...
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you.
Hello. Oh, peekaboo. Hey, everybody. How are you doing? Let me get my microphone over here. Okay. I'm having issues. No, I'm not. I'm just picking. I don't ever have issues. Oh, I have more issues than Cosmopolitan. Right? How are you guys doing? Oh, it's good to see you too, Lamisa and Trace and Cat Lady, Beach Bum, Donna. I want to fix my camera to where I don't look like I'm going like this, but it's like opposite, you know? I don't know how to do it. Is it more or less? Let's see. All right. Get it together, Crush it. Get it together. Hey, Great Dane Mom. Hey, Dennis. Denise. Dennis was my dad's name. Angela. Hey. Hey, Katie. Thank you for the links. Always. I appreciate them. I really do. Hey, Julie. How are you? Scarlett. I'm looking way over there. I don't know how to I don't know how to do this. Hey, Philly. Hey, Miss Dora Opinion. How are you? Hey, K Cutie. This Lori P Seed. She's damned. I'm just picking. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? P Seed. Oh, I'm sitting here trying acronyms. I suck with acronyms. Okay. I'm like, wait, what is this? I'm sorry. What does this mean? What does that mean? I don't get it. It takes me a hot minute. Look, I was 18 years old and straight up was like, Mom, I learned what VIP meant. And she was like, what? Just saying. common sense, you know. Sometimes it passes right over my town, my house. It's good to see you guys here. Um, uh, and Jay, Blake, it's so good to see you. Oh, wow. It's good to have you here. I'm on a roll hitting thumbs up hours in advance. You're way better than me, Lamisa. Oh, I'll be here late. Okay. All the time. I'll get it right one day. I'll be late though. So, well, you ever have plans and they don't quite go accordingly? That and I mean, like, I took a nap with Jason yesterday during the day because, you know, it's normal for me. Hey, little brands. And woke up and I'm just now able to, if I put my arm out straight, it shakes. But right here, it's like I don't know. I slept on it wrong. I slept hard and solid for like 6 hours straight. So it was more than like a nap. It was like a snooze. And anyway, so I woke up. It took me forever just to get my arm going right. And able to just kind of, anyways, la da da da, right? And I so I started to figure out what to do for the show, right? Today. And we've been doing the Chad Daybell uh He's Doomed series. I know. Oh yes, little Brand. It's right here. Little Brand sent me a whole box of this stuff, this crap, this good crap. Holy crap. It's good. Mercy MSM. Yes. It's good. It's not sponsored unless Little Brands unless she made it herself and sells it. Then it's sponsored. But I forgot about it. I did. I have some by my bedside too. This is for in here. Anyways, I'm gonna do that now while we talk. So I set down my regular, normal, every week pattern, which is usually I work on thumbnails, you know, all during the week. And I mean, I work on stuff all during the week for Canva and just whatever I land on basically is what we'll discuss. And so I had done this pre-recorded video it was November 26th, 2023. So it was this year, but it was like, I was like, happy Thanksgiving. There's one I did in September 5th or whatever that I had edited and I just never published it. I was like, and it was about Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt. So maybe we can take a look at that today, because kind of what we knew then, what we know now. And all I know is that Ruby Frankie is trying to do a plea deal. Right? It's never justice for the victims. It's never justice for the victims. That's why I love and adapted KJ's saying, justice through understanding. Justice looks different for everybody, just like heaven looks different for everybody. Mainstream religion looks different for everybody. We all have our own perspectives. We have our own perception. We have our own view of the world, and they're all different, but that is also what makes us unique. And I like that. I think that it takes every color to make up the world, you know, the whole coloring box, the box of colors. Right. But so I had, so anyways, it's ready, like of the pre-record or whatever that I did about the visions. It's Visions of a Glorious Thread. And it was something that I've had, you know, joined on Reddit. It's a community there. Let me close that window. There's so many of them. So many of these windows open for all the metaverse of freaking Lori and Chad Daybell. It seemed to, here's this ripple effect in the belief system. And so you have all these other people in the same religion, the same church, depending on their degree of where they are in their belief system. You know, they may be, in my opinion, if they are anywhere in the deep doctrines or anything like what Chad and Lori believed, then they are well on their way out of the church, because anybody that goes and just really the scriptorians, just those people who know scriptures like the back of their hands, like Lori, she was like, I live by the scriptures, right? To Melanie Gibb. When they had their Korihor battle, that's when Laura Horror was born. Thank you for that. You know, oh man, I was like, what are they doing? What is this that we're watching? What am I watching? Right? It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen or heard or witnessed. When two middle-aged women just start rapping, you know, it's like it's like a girl fight, but with Mormon scripture. It was weird. One of the moments that I'll never forget for sure. And that's when core horror became a kind of like a not a curse word, but I used it a lot. I was like, "You core horror." And then one day I Googled it. This was the day that the Lifetime movie premiered about Lori and Chad, right? That's so nuts. We've come so far. Take a sip. We really have. We've come so far. We've got one down, one convicted. We've got one to go. Hopefully we have Melanie to go. We have Brandon and we have Charles. So what? That's a possible 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go, give or take. Doesn't look like Melanie Gibb or David Warwick, nobody, Zalema, any of those. It doesn't look like any of those people are going to be held accountable in the way that we want them to be held accountable. And that's between them and their God and the justice system, because in my opinion, it failed. It fails all the way around. Nothing we do or say will ever bring them back. And that's just the truth of the matter. You know, if it breathed life back into them, oh, we'd have done this a long time ago. And then it would be more. Anyways, I don't even know what I'm saying. But so what? So I didn't have time to upload the video, but I do have the audio. But it's up to you guys. Or we can just kind of just, you know, be like, hey, it's Christmas time, and just kind of roll with the punches. So, yay, DJ. That is a beautiful home that you're house sitting. By the way, I was like, what? Okay. It's beautiful, relaxing. I like how I house sat on for somebody on the river and on the Calcasieu River here. I know I could be a river rat straight up. I could live on the river. I didn't watch TV. I sat outside and I was just waving to the boaters, you know, like everybody passing by. It was just so relaxing. And oh man, yeah, I'm going to look at that real quick too, Donna. I have one of those tickers that here it is. I don't have it on my computer, but I'm about to. And everything looks different on the computer, right? Let's see, calculator. Well, DJ's here. DJ, how many days till Chad goes to trial? No, I'm kidding. Date to date. Distance, date pattern. Ooh, a date pattern calculator. Uh-oh. Oh, we'll try this one. Start date. Today is December 17th. Happy birthday to all your December birthdays. My daughter will be 18 in a few days. Oh my God. Can we just talk about that for a second? I'm freaking out. That's nuts. I think his trial is supposed to start on the 1st, right? And Lori's is the 4th. I hope that doesn't, okay. We have, oh wait, the start date was after the end date. No, I can't talk and do. Start date. Anyways, just read what Donna said. I have it on my phone. If only I could just, project my phone screen onto here, y'all would be in trouble because I would, be showing you all kinds of things. I run across all kinds of things all the time. You think that's what it would be so insightful to actually, and it is when you run across those rare people. I say rare because not in my realm, in my world, in my orbit. You guys follow this case. You guys know this case inside and out, and that's what we do. But there's some people who have never heard of these people, of Chad, Lori, Tylee, JJ. So I mean, it is one of those things, and so it's so interesting. Like the juror, that did a interview with Hidden True Crime, the recent one. Oh, I love him. I was like, oh my God, yes. It was so interesting seeing it through his eyes. I don't know why. I don't know if I just really like him. I like all of them. I respect all of them. Happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? Hannah, happy pre-birthday. Oh, what's the date? Today's date to like a countdown. What's the countdown for Chad's trial? I have it again in my phone, but I don't have it. And I can't multitask. I can, but then I feel like I'm being quiet. I feel like I have to entertain and I have to talk. And talking and thinking, they don't go hand in hand together for me. Okay, like right now. I hope everybody's doing well. I know that it is Christmas and it's the holiday season. It's New Year's, Christmas, all that stuff right now. I've always, I've never, besides when I was a kid and, you get cool presents and stuff, and that's when it's commercialized and everything. And it's not ever really about the meaning of Christmas. And even, that's just how we're raised. A lot of us are raised with the magical worldview. Yeah. And this fat dude's going to slide down the chimney. Nothing against fat people. I'm right there with him. 123 days, give or take. Where the hell did my tabs go? Did I close them all? I think I did. Well, I'm special, y'all. Special, special. Let's see. I have them bookmarked. 105. Okay. So it's right around the corner. It's right there. And gearing up for that, doing the series where we're going over all of the trial hearings, all the significant. Juror 18 made me emotional. He also joined the Facebook group. Woohoo! Yay! Well, that's awesome. I respect those men and women who served on that jury. I watched them too. I tried watching everybody at the same time, right? Super hyper vigilant. And, but I don't know. I just have He was very sincere, very compassionate. That's what I got off of me. Now I've only watched it. I watched the end of it because I caught the end of the live, and then I had to go back and start from the beginning. But I really only watched all the juror ones like once, maybe on accident twice. You know what I mean? In the background or whatever. And I just think for 106 more days until Chad's hearing. All right, mark your calendars. Mark your and then call me and remind me because I'll be late. No. I'm super pumped up about Lori in Arizona. I don't know what it is. It's like once she was done over there in Idaho, and then they just like took her in the dead of the night, because that's usually what they do with prisoners like that. When they transport them, they do it while everybody's sleeping. They do it when you least expect it, and it's just safety and all that stuff. You know how they do all those extra maneuvers and stuff. How she flew into Boise, and she could have flew in right there to is it Twin Falls or Idaho Falls? My bad. But anyways, thank you for that. What was I saying about the trials? Oh, I'm super pumped up about the Arizona part. Like, I don't know. It's like I got mad and emotional. It gripped me. I don't know. It's my uncle. Maybe I think I talked to y'all about, yeah, I did. I shared that here. How I was like, is it because I have more history with him? My uncle Charles, is it it's not that I don't love JJ and Tylee. I do. Jeez, I do. But there's just something, I don't know. I guess to see the body cam, to see him pleading and begging, and he sounded crazy, trying to explain they're crazy, her crazy. And just this whole world was crumbling down. And meanwhile, I do remember that time when, him and JJ would come in. I didn't ask any questions. I got to see my nephew. I got to see my Uncle Charles. I mean, and I'm just not nosy. You kind of just, I was like, something could be going on. I don't know why Lori is not with him. Those thoughts crossed in my mind, but I'm just not an invasive person. Unless you muck with my family, then I'm in there like swimwear, bud. I'm in there like swimwear. The Hebrew date of April 1st, 2024 is Adar 22 or biblical 12th month 22nd day, but at sunset on April 1st it will be Joseph Smith's birthday, 1223. Ashlyn's birthday too. My daughter. Remember, my daughter and Lori told my daughter that she was special, and I was like, oh my god. When I found out it was after all this crap happened, and I was like, I want to beat her ass. Just for that. I know my daughter is special, but she ain't don't you. I don't know. It's just like, mess with me. Don't mess with my damn kids. Don't mess with anybody's kids. Don't mess with your own kids. Leave the kids alone. At least. But there's that. Somebody said that KDH had a good question, but hey, a little bit. Been busy with some stuff, but I've been watching replay. I hope everyone has a great Christmas. Much love and respect to all. And to you too. Merry Christmas to you and yours. We'll be here, right? I don't adhere to the holidays. I respect them and everything, but it just traditions change. Your grandparents die. Your aunts and uncles, they die. And I mean, just the life cycles, and regular loss of life or cycles of life. And I mean, that's normal and to be expected, but dang, I mean, this just ever since 2018, 2019, since my Uncle Charles was murdered, it's just been boom, 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 boom. And then It's crazy. And it was such a blur, so it just is, I don't know. I have not mourned any. I have not grieved them. I know that. And my dad died. My mama, my favorite. I mean, she was like a mom to me. My mom Trahan, my uncle Ed Trahan, my dad Dennis Trahan. He died. JJ's mom died. Hmm, his real mom. And my doctor died, and Jason almost died twice, almost died. He had 2 strokes and he had a thoracotomy. I mean, it's just, and then the 2 hurricanes, and it's just like, oh shit. Hold my beer. Who needs a prep, right? I was built for this. But I mean, that's what we're human. We're resilient. We think we can't handle things, and there's a saying or quote or whatever you want to call it, and um, I always mess these kind of things up when I put myself on the spot, but it goes something like, um, out of all the hard days, all the bad days that you thought you would never overcome, you have overcame 100% of those days. Every bad day, every ailment, every just, oh my God, you thought the world was going to Chad and Lori on you. Just kidding. You know what I'm saying? And you're just like, oh my God. And you get through it because that's what you do. You are resilient. We are resilient. I'm resilient. This is what we do. We don't have a choice. I mean, there are choices in how we can handle our grief, handle our struggles, our pain. We can channel it or I say channel it, but we can use it and do some positive, constructive, what the hell? Or we can either be constructive or deconstructive. We can, as far as like being addicted to things, I think addiction changes forms also. I know because it's like I cycled out of that, and then I moved on to just being a workaholic, and I threw myself into that. And then now, since this case, since my family was murdered, this is my new drug. But I mean, it just shook my world too. And whereas before it had, nothing ever just rocked me like that. So, and for anything to catch my attention more than 5 minutes is saying a lot. I don't know. It bothers me. It affects me, and it affects my family, our families, friends, you guys. It's hurt. It's wrongs that you can't right, but you do your best to be united and find all the things that failed them. Where can you, I really feel like until we have acknowledgement from the church, until we have acknowledgement from the police department, until we have acknowledgement from all the things that failed them, those people and those institutions, those entities, they have to acknowledge that anything even happened, or it was wrong, or it was bad, or whatever. And that's something that I focused on the church. Those temples are so high. I mean, they just stick out like a sore thumb. Eyes went straight to it. Hey, Ministina. Yeah. Yeah. 2 that only just happened in the last 2 months. That's why I don't like Christmas. It reminds you of, yeah, it does. I was thinking earlier, and I'm sorry for y'all's losses. It's no different. A loss is a loss. It is. We grieve these things, whether whether we acknowledge it or not. I mean, your best friend. You know what I mean. Just name the thing. There's relationships that die. There are people that die. There are people. Now it's a little bit different because I know that I've experienced both, where I have just family members that phase out. We'll just say. Because they die of old age. They've lived a full life. They've had children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, great. they've had life. But then there's murder, and that is a whole nother level of, oh my God, because it's not natural. That's somebody invading someone else's human rights, basic human rights as a person, as a human being, and especially if they're your children. I don't care who you are. That just, it is what that, it can't change that. And so it just, that it pisses you off, but it also makes you want, this is how I do it. I'm just want to make them proud. I try. I'm like, well, would they like it if I did this? Or, if they were here, would they be proud of me? Or, would they be like, don't go that way? Would they be like, oh Lord, she's embarrassing me? You know what I'm saying? And I just try to check in with that often, because it's important, because they are important. They are important. They were important. Their lives mattered. All lives matter. Can you imagine this happening to your children, or, your niece, your nephew, your cousins, your uncle, your aunt? It just, loss is loss. I lost Lori too. Really. That song by Gautier, Somebody I Used to Know. That one used to play through my mind all the time when all this first happened. She is somebody that I used to know. I don't know who that person is now. That person died, and that's the shell, the carcass that you see now, today. Every time we see her Chad in court, and I didn't know Chad, and I really am glad. I really am glad. He doesn't seem like anybody that was worthy of even knowing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Okay. do. And I mean, no, it's no shame on Tammy. She did what her culture does. I married young too. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I've learned so many things. How about y'all? What have you learned? Oh my gosh, and there's no ceiling, right? No ceilings. But yeah, they are alive because Trace. Oh, whoa. I gotta fill in some context now. Trey says, I do have to say that I think it's only because of the Lori Vallow case that law enforcement went after and found Blaze. So that makes me feel, I don't know what that feeling is. Not proud. Something to that effect, but not like, oh right. But no, but that makes their deaths matter. It makes Charles's death, Tylee, Tammy, JJ, Joe, all of their deaths, it makes it count, because it set off some alarms, it set off some flags, and red flag, right? If you watch Jordan McKay. Anyways, he scares the shit out of me every time he does that, by the way. But that's what we need. I mean, we indicators, so if you have a church that is like just spewing or allowing this to fester, used to, I was like, well, I mean, what the hell can the church do? Nobody can make you do anything. That was my, when I was like a cult leader, like Charles Manson, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, he didn't kill anybody. And it was ignorant of me to say that. Right. Woo, boy. And then God, he threw a book down, and he knocked me down, and he was like, here you go. Here you go, girl. And I remember even saying, and you have to be careful what you say, because you can bring these things into fruition, I think. Hey, babe. Mm-mm. Just that. Thank you. I love you. Go and get a cold coffee, frappuccino. But I remember saying early on, this is because that's how I found John DeLynn actually, and then I still wasn't sure because I didn't know Mormon beliefs, period. And then I didn't know all the characters, and I'm like, well, who? It's got to be the Bible. So then, and then I don't even know all the ones in the Bible. So I was just like, who are these people? And then it's so different being from, just being brought up in the Catholic religion. It's nothing like the Mormon as far as like the structure, as far as like I mean, there's a bunch of churches, that you can go to, and I had to go to I had to go to catechism and stuff like that. I just never clung to it. I don't know. My papa was a fanatic though. And so it intrigues the hell out of me that my Uncle Charles, my mom, their brothers and sisters, Uncle Jerry, they got the bitch, um, Uncle Bobby, Aunt Terry, Aunt Susan, Uncle Charles, mom, Uncle Bobby. I'm repeating now. There's 6 of them, or now there's 5, but I mean, they grew up in a household where it was uber religious, right? I didn't know that. I didn't know. I don't know if it's like the grandkid, barrier. And so you don't ever, from what it looks like to me, it seems like grandparents, it's like when you become a grandparent, it's like your chance to just like kind of right some wrongs a little bit, and you're way more wiser. You have a lot more years. You have more experience. And you have reflection. You can look back and be like, well, I shouldn't have done this. I could have done this better. Whatever it may be. I think that it's like another opportunity. So I don't know, but I just think it's fascinating how Uncle Charles basically went from the frying pan and whatever that saying is. He went from one thing to just another extreme to another extreme. From one extreme to another. And I find that so fascinating. So, I don't know. And it's just like saying that guns kill. I don't, people would have to put it into action, for it to harm anybody. So we can't take away the ideas. I don't believe. I could be wrong, but I mean, really, I've never really spoken out about that. Don't feel it's just what you do. You're the weapon. It's your state of mind, your influences, what is going on in here and in your feelings and everything. There's a lot of things that factor into our belief system. And this one, it's an eye opener, right? But it does make me feel relieved. That's the word, relieved, that those indicators went up, the red flags, pop, 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 I mean, with all the second coming of Jesus Christ, I'm just like, I don't know if I rejected it. And I was just like, I ain't dealing with this shit again. I don't know, because I'm still real leery of the story, period. And I mean, just period, end of story. I want to know about Blaze's parents. I forget, Spring and Brooke Hill, I think. Yeah, let me go grab that. We can at least dish about some stuff. I like that. Okay. La 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 la. So, does anybody know about the I know Katie, you sent me a link, but I haven't had time to look at it yet. About where Ruby Frankie, is it going to be an open court hearing? Do y'all know? Let's see. I'm looking. Oh Lord. And I just want to say thank you, Nina Marie, for reaching out. That was very nice. And I did go watch that. Now, I hadn't actually watched that episode yet. Cults to Consciousness. It was 4 days ago. But yeah, I keep up with it. I just have been I guess, slacking. Let's see. Hold on, I'm reading. So, I don't know. I'm gonna just open this one and see. Copy the link address, because my I'm in my other email and it's like way it opened in another window, and so I'm like, what? Okay. Excuse me. All right. Okay, let me go share my screen. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So what are y'all thoughts? What are your thoughts about it? I know a lot of you guys do keep up with it. I normally do too. I was trying to figure out what to do today's live stream on, because I've been working on trying to kind of do that thing for Chad with the whole trial thing, getting ready and prepared for his trial that's upcoming, in 503 days, 100 and some days. And so doing that, we're just kind of rewatching all of right now we're on the preliminary hearings, and it's just interesting to actually do this on my own channel with y'all, with my community. And whereas before, I would be watching it on wherever. I didn't even know how this worked. I didn't know what a link was. I didn't know what a hashtag was. I was like, well, how do I make it go onto my TV? That's when the lockdown happened. Everybody was stuck at home. A lot of us were, except for the brave men and women who were, working in the healthcare field. And it was a scary time, but it was also, I was like, I was made for this. They shouldn't have done this, because I was like, I'm social distancing. Thank you. Why aren't, for once, it wasn't like a throwing shame at me or something for doing something I really love to do already. So anyways, Ruby Frankie plans to enter plea agreement in child abuse case. Blames co-defendant Jody Hildebrandt. Well, that's a shocker, right? All right, let's watch this. It'll probably be an hour.
Kyle just made a decision.
Okay.
Attorney, thanks for joining us.
I'm sorry.
Utah YouTube Frankie plans to enter a plea agreement for the child
not
abuse
very
charges
loud.
she faces. That's according to her attorney. Thanks for joining us for 2 News at 10 tonight. I'm Heidi Hatch.
And I'm Jim Spiewak. She will be back in court in Washington County on Monday. Amanda Gilbert is joining us live tonight, breaking down what we can expect to happen in just a few days. Amanda.
I know.
Yeah, guys, Windward Law, the firm representing Ruby,
Can y'all hear
released
that?
a statement tonight where they confirmed there's going to be some type of agreement with prosecutors come Monday. I spoke with a criminal defense attorney not connected to this case about what we can expect.
It's been several months since Ruby Frankie
It's
and her
been
business
several
partner,
months.
Jody Hildebrandt, were arrested. Both were charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse. But in a statement tonight, Frankie's attorney says she was a devoted mother who was, quote, subjected to a distorted sense of morality shaped by Miss Hildebrandt's influence. It also stated Miss Hildebrandt systematically isolated Ruby Frankie from her extended family, older children, and her husband.
I think that the defense team put together a pretty effective narrative that kind of points the finger at Hildebrandt.
Attorney Nathan Evershed is not connected to this case, but he says it's clear they're trying to avoid a trial.
In this case, the mother probably doesn't want to see the children testify, and in this case, the children really don't probably want to testify much against the mother.
If he was Frankie's attorney.
In a case like this, where it looks like there isn't a lot of criminal history that's at place, it looks like she's been in jail for a long period of time. What you would be hoping
that's a
for
good way of saying she looks like
a
crap.
defense attorney is just to avoid prison.
Is there a chance
people?
that Ruby Frankie could get away with no jail time or very limited jail time?
So there's a couple things on this evening, this Friday night, that we don't know. We don't know exactly what charges she's going to be pleading to.
While we don't know what will happen Monday, we do know Frankie faces 6 counts of aggravated child abuse. That's a second-degree felony that could mean 1 to 15 years in prison each.
That's not enough.
Something else to note, as we saw from that release, Frankie's attorneys appear to be placing a lot of blame on Hildebrandt. So we'll see if Frankie ends up testifying against her former business partner. We will learn a lot more come Monday. I will be in St. George Sunday and Monday, along with our anchor reporter, Brian Schnee, to give you full coverage then. Reporting live, Amanda Gilbert, KUTV 2 News.
It's been a
Okay.
while since we've
Oh
been
my
able to
gosh.
update you on the court proceedings involving Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt because nothing really had changed. We've been waiting for the prosecution to go over all of the discovery, and then things were going to move forward. Today, the deputy Washington County attorney requested waiver hearings for later this month. They were requested separately, one intended for Ruby Frankie on December 18th, one for Jody Hildebrandt on December 27th. Waiver hearings can indicate a number of things, including a potential for a plea bargain or just to get both sides together to speak. I spoke with a criminal defense attorney, Sky Lazaro, about where this case appears to be right now. What is a waiver hearing?
You waive your
A
hearing.
waiver hearing is a procedural hearing set by the court. It's more of a status conference where the court discusses with the defendant and the prosecutor and defense counsel whether or not the defendant wishes to set a preliminary hearing or potentially waive their right to have a preliminary hearing if there's some sort of plea offer.
Do you get the sense when something like this is scheduled that there have been the discussions and a plea bargain or a guilty plea could be looming?
Not necessarily. These are set as a matter of course. In reviewing the docket, my sort of take on it is that the prosecutor requests that this be set because it was continued without date previously. And I think their concern is if we don't set something, this case is going to fall through the cracks. We need to get it moving. It is interesting. There was a motion filed for an expedited detention hearing early on in the case. Sounded like they wanted to be able to address those things.
Welcome.
And then the continuance was filed on the basis that there was, I think, copious amounts of discovery is the language that was used. So
like voluminous.
I don't think this is uncharacteristic of cases where you think, we want to get in front of a judge to discuss detention. It's hard to do that, to argue whether or not the prosecutor has substantial evidence to hold the defendant until you've reviewed what the state has. They're still entitled to a preliminary hearing. It doesn't look like no pleas have been entered and won't be entered until after that. So
appreciate it. I'm trying to.
I don't anticipate anything new happening unless they request another detention hearing, prior to a preliminary hearing being set.
Again, these were requested hearings. They have not been officially scheduled, although the dates and times were recommended. We'll keep you updated on things as we learn them, as we've been doing the whole way. We've been covering the 8 passengers child abuse allegations case for months now. We're working to speak with those who say they've been impacted by either some of the practices here or alleged practices. And you can head to our 8 passengers playlist page on our YouTube channel to watch all of our coverage. Let's go in depth on Ruby Frankie, the YouTuber who had millions of subscribers before the platform pulled her channel. This came after she and her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, were arrested on child abuse charges in late August. We obtained new video here at 2 News showing Ruby Frankie being pulled over in a traffic stop just days before her arrest.
Hello. You know how fast you're going right there? No. Okay. Got you going 57.
Your little window.
35. I'll be back real quick.
In the wee hours of the morning.
Info back.
Going to a side piece's house.
A citation for speed. Got you going 57 and a 35. I wrote you down for a 50. You have 5 days and no more 14 to contact Santa Clara Justice Court. It shows right there in that little box right there. And then just has a phone number right there.
Oh, she's
okay. You have any questions for me?
Triggering.
Okay. Just slow down for me, please.
So this happened on August 25th, just after 4 in the morning. While the video doesn't show a whole lot, it does show 2 other people in the car with her early that morning. Their faces were redacted, but they do appear to be either children or young adults. Frankie's traffic case was dismissed in Santa Clara Justice Court earlier this week. So where do things stand now on the child abuse case? Both Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt remain in custody in Purgatory Correctional Facility in
Best name
Hurricane.
ever.
No new court filings have been put forth. No new hearings scheduled. Of course, we'll keep an eye on this one for you.
Okay. I'm going to put a pause on that. Good night. He just kept on going. So it bought me a little time to share this tab instead. And this was something that Nina Maria, I think that's her name. I might be saying it backwards. But she had emailed me and told me, to watch this. And so when I was telling you about when we, at the beginning of the live stream, and right here, he says something that's very, I don't have words today. So just excuse me, but let's listen.
It just blows my mind that they haven't thought of that yet.
Yeah, and I don't speculate on this very often, but I want to for a second, because as I've done, our last interview together, and I've also spoken to Nemo the Mormon on his channel about abuse allegations, and obviously talked to John Dehlin about it many times. One of the things the question I get a lot is like, why won't they change this?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the picture is finally coming into focus for me, because I don't believe the church's senior leadership are mustache twirling villains. There's this idea of Hanlon's razor, which is to assume that anything that can be explained by incompetence is. And one of the things I've really been coming to terms with is the fact that Mormonism has a very unique patriarchal structure, and it has a very unique way of telling men. I guess what I'm saying is, let's think about the reality of these men that are at the top of the pyramid of the leadership of the church.
They're at the top.
They have been told since the time they were little boys, like almost 100 years ago, that they
that was good.
special.
Oh.
And I know that because as I've left the church and I've deconstructed those beliefs, I have noticed the way that in my relationship with my wife, that while I was never really one for explicit patriarchy, there was a ton of implicit patriarchy in our relationship because of the church's teachings and because of the church's structure. And that's where people really have to imagine, those who haven't been members of the church or who never got to this point. You get told at 12 years old as a young Mormon man that you have the power of ministering angels, that you have power from God. One of the things that we recited every single day when I was in the mission field it's a poem from Bruce R. McConkie called My Missionary Commission.
Bruce R. McConkie,
and it literally starts by saying,
hardcore.
I can pull it up, but I remember the way it starts.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
Thanks for a great live while I look it up. But it starts by saying, I'll just go ahead and read it. I pulled it up. Is that okay? Can I read?
Yes, please.
I hate reading anything from Bruce R. McConkie these days, but I'll at least do it so that people can kind of understand where I'm coming from with theorizing what's going on inside the heads of these men and why these things won't change. This is the missionary commission that I read every morning. I am called of God. My authority is above that of kings of the earth. By revelation, I have been selected as a personal representative of the Lord Jesus Christ. He is my master, and he has chosen me to represent him, to stand in his place, and to say and do what he himself would say and do if he personally were ministering to the very people to whom he has sent me. My voice is his voice, and my acts are his acts. My doctrine is his doctrine. My commission is to do what he wants, to say what he wants, and to be a living modern witness in word and in deed of the divinity of this great and marvelous latter-day work. How great is my calling. That's what I had to read every morning. And people wonder why these men have like just an insane ego that won't allow them to even consider they might be doing something wrong. How in the world could they not? If you had been fed a steady diet of how amazing you were, and that you literally speak for Jesus Christ for 60 to 80 years of your life, no wonder they can't see the things that are right in front of the rest of our faces. It's because they have been fed a steady diet of believing that the thoughts in their head are God's thoughts. And that's why they can't change any of these things. That's my opinion. If people want to understand why these things won't change, it's not because, in my opinion, it's not because the church leaders are in some weird global conspiracy and they want these cases of abuse to happen. I really don't believe
Right.
that. I believe that they just simply cannot accept the reality, even the possibility that they might be wrong, because they've been told since the time they were very little boys that their thoughts are God's thoughts, and they are wrong.
All right, we'll end on that right there. Right? Oh, my bad. This one opened on accident. Let me switch you over to, well, where'd it go? Sorry, I'm looking for my tabs. Looking for my tabs. Let me close some. Closing tabs. Let's see. Right here. Okay. Hold on, let me open the video slot. This one is interesting. I actually am working on something. Hold on here. Now this is Sean Reyes, okay? And this is him rapping in a movie theater, okay? At the very end, this guy says something to the tune of, is this something of where our tax dollars? I don't know. It's after Bob finds Catherine. Anyways.
The inaugural missionary training center wrap off years and years and years ago, and it's true. I did. Most of you probably don't realize that exists. So this is a little bit of the MTC winning rap from back in the day. I was known as MCT in the MTC.
It's so gross.
And it goes a little something like this. The M is for master of the microphone, motivating missionaries in the battle zone. My mouth is a machete. I'll make a mess of the masochistic morons who do oppress. M, the model missionary, got more ammunition than the military. Mortal man, yes I am, but the might of my master is in my hand. Say what? It doesn't start with M, si es mi mano. So let's try it again. Porque yo puedo rimar en español in two different tongues. I take control. Nadie sabe más que mi señor. And he gives me power from door to door. And then it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
One last little bit. Somebody said, what about is the AG? Do you have anything? I've got a lot of AG raps, but this one, it goes a little something like this. Is on the devastating, innovating, rhyming AG, repping 801 Utah SLC. Don't waste your time trying to battle me, because I'll knock you out, you Frazier. I'm Ali, yes Ali, aka Cassius Clay. You want to take my title, better step away. Political pugilist, I don't play. Feeling lucky, punk? Come on and make my day.
We're gonna make your day. Listen to this quote.
He is a talent. That is awesome. Bob found Catherine, right?
Bob found her. Some better taxpayer money. Spend our taxpayer money. I was like, oh, get him. I really don't know what all to show y'all. Besides, so it'll be a short live stream, so that'll be different. That's something we're not used to around these parts. Oh, I pray Sean Reyes will continue to be exposed in Jesus Christ's mighty name. Amen. Amen. Right? Straight up. Oh my God. There's gross, and then there's Chad and Lori's metaverse. And these are the same people that are percolating and soaking, pun intended, and doing the Provo push over there in that realm. And it's just a delayed reaction, in my opinion. I used to get so mad. I still get mad. I still get frustrated because, I mean, I'm like, what about the rest of them? What about the rest? You cannot sit there and say the doomsday cult mom and doomsday cult prophet Chad. You cannot say that and there not be a damn cult. Where's the cult? Okay. I know many of you are like, well, elephant in the room, right? I get it. I mean, these people, it's the problem. It's not just Chad and Lori. Somebody planted these ideas. I mean, they fester off each other. I mean, I've read so many forums, Quora, I've read a lot of the Latter-day Saint, not just Freedom Forum, Latter-day Saint Freedom Forum. I go and read Wheat and Tares. Even commented there one day, and I was surprised to have. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna just kick my comment off here." It was very respectful, but I mean, again, I've gone to these blogs, and I've got screenshots for years, not days. I got screenshots for millennia. There we go. There's some terminology that we know. And they all think there are a lot more people like this. Slap counter. Don't count for me. Doesn't count for me. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It sure does. Counts for you, Lori. It counts for you too, Chad. Raphael, John, Guy, whatever the hell. They make your head spin. But I remember running across so many things, and I'm like, oh my God, no, this. The Saturday's Warrior is a Latter-day Saint. It was a popular, let me Google it so I don't botch it too bad. Saturday's Warrior. And this is where the idea of, I think we've been married before in a previous life. I shit you not. And so this is something that Chad and Lori, would have grown up to. Not that. I see the hooker. It's where's the hooker? I'm just kidding. Okay. I'll just show you what I'm doing. Overview. Let's see. Tuesday. Okay, so it's a, let's see. Come on, just give me the rundown. Saturday's Warrior is a religious themed musical written by Douglas Stewart and Lex de Azevedo. About I have to open the damn thing. Whatever this name is, about a family who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS Church, Mormon Church. The musical tells the story of a group of children that are born into a Latter-day Saint family after making various promises in the premortal life. Remember that? Two of the children, Jimmy and Julie, encounter personal struggles that help them rediscover and fulfill their foreordained. Boy, that was a big word. Everybody's like, I never heard foreordained. I'm like, well, here it is. Mike Stroud uses it a lot. I coin him with that. Agency. So foreordained means agency in the theology of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is, quote, the privilege of choice, which was introduced by God, the Eternal Father. Remember, there are three different ones. To all of his spirit children in the premortal state, unquote. Mortal life is viewed as a test of faith where our choices are central to the plan of salvation. I don't know. I don't feel like going through all that. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Foreordained for missions in this life, right? So when she got her mission, and I don't doubt that she did, I do believe that it was not just some self-fulfilling prophecy, but that's neither here nor there. Something I can never prove. There's too many more people who are having these same like-minded ideas. These doomsday, second coming, same. You heard it. You heard it in when Blaze Thibodeau went missing. You heard it somewhat, with the Tim Ballard, really a lot with the Tim Ballard shit. Some with, they're all together. They're all connected. So you can't, I cannot separate them. Oh, my honey just brought me a coffee. Thank you, babe. You are so sweet. I'll keep you. Or will you keep me for another year? All right. I think we met before in a pre-existence. Okay. Anywho, we've been going back and forth. We watch Two Broke Girls a lot just to sleep to or whatever. He gets. He just did it. I'll be in my boat. So we've been doing that for like 3 days straight. For everything. We're like, I'll be in my boat. Sophie from Two Broke Girls. Anyways, that's the latest from the Chapman household. Anyways, two of the children, Jimmy and Julie, encounter personal struggles that help them rediscover and fulfill their foreordained missions in life. Although no explicit time frame is given in the dialogue, certain contextual clues, in particular, a song that references the zero population growth, or ZPG, sometimes abbreviated, is a condition of demographic balance where the number of people in a specified population neither grows nor declines. That is the number of birth. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, okay, suggests that the story takes place in the then current period. What the hell? It's so confusing. God dang it. It's just of the late 1960s or early 70s, similar to other religious musicals such as Godspell. Never heard of her. Just kidding. And Jesus Christ Superstar. I only know that term because of Ben Stiller in that movie where he gets cheated on by Deborah, what's her face? Redhead. Anyways, and yeah, his friend Sandy or whatever is in like this Jesus Christ Superstar show or something. And anyways, the basketball court, and he gets sweat all over his face from somebody else. Ugh. Anyways, so the musical explores the Latter-day Saint doctrines and views on the plan of salvation. There's the plan of salvation. Okay. Yeah, I still don't understand it. Premortal life, foreordination, and eternal marriage. It depicts a schmishmortion and birth control as being contrary to the divine plan of salvation. But all about that blood atonement, yo. Right? I'm just saying. Okay. Anyways, but in this movie, and you can find it. If you go and look on YouTube, type in Saturday's Warrior. I would play it for you, but I don't want to get struck with a copyright. Okay, I was making sure I was sharing it. I was like, maybe I'm not even sharing it. Okay, let me see where I'm going next. Oh, okay. Which one was this? Okay, let me go backwards. Okay, then we're gonna go, and this is where I got, listen.
I used to be a rapper growing up.
All right, let's hear a little of that.
He still wants to
All
be.
right. Well, this is.
I'll count you down. Ready?
Yeah, you ready?
3, 2, 1.
We're the partners of rhyme, the Legion of Doom. When we're on stage, sucker MCs make room for us because they know that we're the best. I'm the Pineapple Crush's MC Kid Fresh, so when we're on the mic, we never lose a fight in the light of day or the still of night, flying higher and farther than all the competition. When we're on the rhyme, we do it with precision, not bragging, saying what we're about. But take a listen to my jam. There'll be no doubt that we are the best you've ever seen because I rhyme with style. Yes, I am. I reign supreme. Yes. I'm the real educated rapper, rhyming connoisseur, and vocabulary master. I used to DJ a little bit. We throw a little mix in here and go on and on. You want to do a huck? Will you do it with me?
He's that dad.
This is a Maori war
Right?
dance they used to do. Yeah. So we go.
Look at this shit. Company.
And then we go
This is our intro. Love me. Never let me go. He can sing. His dad was a impressionist, Elvis person. But it's better with the music. Right? Look at him. He's such a freak. I don't like you, Sean. Okay, cat's out of the bag, right? Okay, then there's this one. Great message. Horrible messenger. Oh, hell. Uh-oh. Hold on. My computer might be frozen. He just broke it. Yeah, it's frozen. Come on, Pewter. Catch up. Hold on. I'm waiting. Waiting for it to say tab's not responding or whatever it does. So much. Let me close the windows. All right, let me get back over there so I can try and maneuver it. What's going on? Sean? I'm just kidding. I like you. I'm lying. All right, let me try this again. All right, let me go back to this tab. Oh no, it just says no. It's not scrolling. All right, let me close this tab. Always something in the neighborhood, right? Everybody else makes it look so damn easy, and it's not. Oh, I gotta go open another tab. Hold on. Hold, please. Okay, hold on. Now let me go share it. One day they'll make this flow a lot better, because it's not very user friendly. You can't turn your volume. You know, you can't. When I share screen, it takes me totally away from you guys. God dang it! I gotta fix my aspect. Okay. Oh well. Yeah, here it is. Okay.
Pop hit or a bad rap? That's the question some are asking after Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes performed on stage Saturday night in
Oh,
Sioux
I'm
City.
sitting there thinking of Bone Thugs and Harmony. We're not against rap. We're not against rappers, but we are against those thugs, right? Some sluggish, ruggish bone. Oh my God, I'm old.
Take a listen and you decide.
Hunting predators, I'm a dragon slayer,
Why
making
not?
believers out of all them haters as I chase down in my town criminals like a bloodhound on the scent till they're found. Follow them even underground, infiltrate their compounds, engulf them like surround sound. Don't mess around in my town. I'll take you down.
Call him Big Sean or the notorious AG. Utah's top law enforcement official dropped this 48-second rap before Colin Ray took the stage at the Utah Business Revival concert Saturday night at Iron Springs Resort. Today, he told me the rap represents his background as a Southern Californian and a former boxer.
I have a little bit of flavor that I bring from my Native Hawaiian, Latino, Asian Pacific American heritage. And growing up in LA, I think I can be a bridge and bring the best of both worlds. I grew up boxing and fighting MMA, so it was a little bit about, hey, any political challengers, you want to come after me and take my title as AG? Maybe we'll have to do it in the ring of rap. Can you imagine a debate if we had a little rap off?
I showed the video to some rap fans at Liberty Park.
Because I'm an innovating, devastating rhyming AG, repping 801 Utah SLC. Don't waste your time trying to battle me.
I mean, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish with that. He has good flow, I think.
That one cracked me up.
It's easy to trip up.
It sounds like you put some time into it. It could be worse.
But I wouldn't quit my day job if I was him.
I also showed the video to Democratic nominee for Attorney General Greg Skordas, who considers it, quote, campaign shenanigans.
I guess you could say it's a little childish, but if that's something he enjoys or it's something part of his history or his heritage, you know, I'd say go for it. I mean, it's an election year and people are doing all kinds of bizarre things right now. You know, I guess it's up to the voters to decide what it says about his priorities and where he is, whether he should be focusing on giving Utahns better health care, or whether he should be focusing on doing rap.
Then I'll rain down blows till you beg me to quit. Round 1 to 15, it don't mean a thing. It's who's wearing the belt when we step out of the ring. So I'll overcome whatever you bring, because I'm the undisputed heavyweight and pound for pound king. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Attorney General Reyes faces Republican challenger David Leavitt in the June 26th GOP primary.
David Leavitt.
A hip-hop.
Our other favorite guy, right? I don't think I have not seen this one. Oh, where's the volume?
Talking about, but your teachers might. All right, so it goes a little something like this. I'm innovating, devastating, rhyming AG, repping 801, Utah SLC. Don't waste your time trying to battle me. You want to take my title, best step away. Political futurist, I don't play. You feel a lucky punk? You want to make my day. All right, quiet up. Here comes the second verse.
All the kids they didn't rescue.
You know, take your best hits when you stand in this spot. You know, I'm legit. You should be punched out, tired, are ready to sit, and I'll rain down blows till you're begging to quit. Where I want to continue looking at things who's wearing the belt, and I step out of the ring, swallow the cup, whatever you bring, because I'm an undisputed heavyweight pound for pound king.
Poor kids. I'm sorry, y'all. Poor y'all. Poor y'all. One more. Where's this one? Oh hell. I just saw it and then now I don't. So here it is. Okay. That's what broke my computer earlier.
A dance battle we must have.
Everybody do it? He's stupid. Do the Macarena. Hey, Macarena. I hope it's making you laugh. It's working.
Hi, I'm Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes.
Look at the colors.
Help me stop
Black and
texting
yellow.
and driving by taking the pledge and dancing the Wookiee at ntexrex.org. And I challenge State Auditor John Dougal, Speaker Greg Hughes, and Utah Ute football coach Kyle Whittingham. Come do the Wookiee.
It's got a little beat. It's the Wookiee. ntexrex.org. But no, I didn't mean to do that. But that's interesting that the colors, I didn't notice that before. Where the hell they go? Oh, they're OUR colors. The black, the white, and the yellow. Right? Suggestive much? Just saying. No. Ooh. Why go there when I have an arsenal full right here?
Nonprofit boards during my career, and I know that there's a lot of corruption, and
There's
there's a lot of fraud,
in the
there's a
background
lot
that
of
I did. Oh.
ego in the nonprofit world. I saw none of that, and I really looked hard at Operation Underground Railroad. No way can you have the success that they have had. No way can you raise money like they have. No way can you have the media attention unless they're doing something wrong. I looked long and hard, and I could find nothing wrong. I've sat on maybe over a dozen nonprofit boards during my career. And I know that there's a lot of corruption, and there's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of ego in the nonprofit world. I saw none of that, and I really looked hard at Operation Underground Railroad. No way can you have the success that they have had. No way can you raise money like they have. No way can you have the media attention unless they're doing something wrong. I looked long and hard, and I could find nothing wrong. I've sat on maybe over a dozen nonprofit boards.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back. Now, I watched Tim and Catherine's new podcast, right? They're starting to get more views. So it's a little scary because I didn't look at the comments, though, because I was watching it on my TV. And I mean, even Jason was like, oh my God. He is like so pushing his book now. He's coming out with a new limited edition. I'm like, I'm sure you are. I'm sure it's all in slave stealers. You know, you can get this story that, I never share. It's so important. They didn't put it in the movie. He said it was so important they left it. They had to cut it out of the movie. Did y'all know also that the Angel Studios that, whatever, that everybody's money went to when they paid forward, funneled, Oh, it's such a gimmick. I've never seen the movie, but anyways, because I know who it represents and who it misrepresents, and it just is it's so egregious. I feel so bad for those who actually are trafficking victims. Part of this, and anyways, and yeah, I mean, my head wants to spin, right? Let's see. Forgot what. I was talking about the podcast. It just goes without saying. It's just disgusting. This one's interesting.
Impeachment, which presidential election results in swing states, including signing Utah onto a lawsuit backing President Trump that even the governor opposed.
And I don't know if it specifically merits impeachment, but I think this is the only way to get a full investigation. And specifically, I want to look at his ties to RAGA, the Republican Attorney Generals Association, and their ties to what happened at the Capitol on January 6th. and also the work that he did to undermine the election, both on his own time and by signing on to Texas's brief.
The Attorney General fired back. In a statement, he says impeachment is a drastic measure, and he criticized the lawmaker for not talking to him. The Attorney General also says he wasn't involved in Capitol violence and has denounced it in the same manner I condemned riots, looting, and loss of life all summer long in cities across our nation.
There's no connection to Utah that's meaningful here.
It's not the only bill in the legislature seeking to rein in the Attorney General. House Minority Leader Brian King filed a bill to limit friend of the court briefs to only those that directly impact Utah.
Ensuring that the Attorney General is focused on what's good and necessary to do for the people of the state of Utah, as opposed to what he may want to do to promote his own political interests or his own political agenda or his political ambitions.
To impeach the Attorney General, the House must agree to an investigation, then get a 2/3 vote to pass articles of impeachment. Even if the House votes for it, Senate Republican and Democratic leadership may not go for it.
We'll see where it goes. Personally, I'm extremely disappointed. That's kind of a Washington, D.C. effort of divisive politics. I hope that doesn't come to Utah.
Now, the House Minority Leader told me today he doesn't necessarily support impeachment, but he certainly favors an investigation. I'm told Democratic lawmakers have yet to meet with the Attorney General to talk about this resolution. On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Okay, let me go.
Impeachment,
Wow.
presidential election results in swing states, including.
It's just, anyways. Oh wait, where's I just saw it. Oh, I made this too. When you ask him how much he has lied to everyone, no, just this much. Or I mean, you can go to town with this one, with this picture, right? It's this big. Oh, those are so cute. Brothers. What is pew pew? I bet it squirts water. Just disgusting. I don't even know. And so he's stepping. No, he's not stepping down. I wish he would. No. I mean, you can go so many places with this one too. It's gross. He should resign. He should be, I don't know. He shouldn't be where he's at. And I'm talking about, I put this together too. Secret combination.
The document discusses a lawsuit against Tim Ballard, the founder of Operation Underground Railroad, accusing him of exaggerating his role with the Central Intelligence Agency to raise funds for his nonprofit. There is confusion surrounding Ballard's job with the CIA, with inconsistencies in his own statements and references to his role. Experts interviewed in the document raise questions about his claims and note that the CIA does not use the terms operative or undercover operator. They confirm that interns are hired by the CIA but are unsure if they are unpaid. Retired CIA case officers express doubts about Ballard's claims and suggest that he may be downplaying his actual service. The document concludes by stating that the CIA did not respond to requests for comment, and the agency may not pursue cases where individuals have exaggerated their work history if it does not impact them.
What if they're crooks? You know? What if? Lynn Packer, right? Just so gross. I've done like at least 4, and he's got this nonprofit, Lava, Liberate, Value, All, right? He's just like Paul Hutchinson. Paul Hutchinson came out with his own 1 and 5 minute podcast on the depraved individuals, in my opinion, of Sean Reyes. And I'm going to put something together on that to do with the podcast that I shared with you guys whenever I was supposed to be talking about Chad Daybell last Thursday. And it was I'm trying to think. I lost my train of thought. Oh man, it'll come back. Oh, that podcast, and it was about Coco Berthman, right? And but in that, there's a reporter who has a YouTube channel who has, I mean, her and Lynn, she went and met Lynn Packer in Utah, and he was showing her around and everything. He's on the podcast too with her. So she consults with Lynn, who is the number one reason I believe that this is even happening with all these frauds, in my opinion. Just all these frauds. This one, he got out easy. if you're asking me my opinion. I was sad, but not for the reasons you think. Like, I'm gonna pull a Chad Daybell here. Oh, watch this too.
I believe since 2014.
I'm gonna be over here.
14, right. So
Watch
great individual. We have Attorney General Sean Reyes from Utah to my right. Look at that. They're
what is this? A freaking contest?
look at that. They're loud back there. And Congressman Chip Roy again.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite pastimes, is finding stupid stuff of him and them and making fun of them. I think I broke my computer again. Anyways, enough of that. Right. Well, I would too. I'd love to see Ray show off his gangster rap in prison. How? I don't understand. Oh, that's what it was. Paul Hutchinson. And so, okay, I'm sorry, but I got to break back into that other thought. Paul Hutchinson was on, it's Dear Media. The name of the YouTube channel is Dear Media Productions, I want to say. And she did a whole investigative, in-depth reporting on Coco Berthman, which, again, she's somebody that Lynn Packer has reported on in his op-ed series of Operation Underground Railroad and Tim Ballard, Sean Reyes, this whole ilk. Okay. But it's not one that I watched it, but I kind of passively watched it, and anyways, I didn't pay enough attention to what he was saying. And this other channel, they put it more in a story form. It's easier for me to follow, right? Well, Paul Hutchinson and his wife, Vanessa Hutchinson, they do interviews, right? With this reporter of this YouTube channel, Dear Media Productions. And so they say a few interesting things in there, like the cacao ceremony and drugging. They're taking the drugs, is what they said. It's a cacao ceremony. And when he got married to Vanessa Hutchinson, allegedly, I'm just going to say allegedly. And it's just interesting. It's just interesting. Hugh Vail came out with a podcast. It's on some other issue, something wild. Oh, God, I hate when I don't have the things right at my fingertips so I can share with you. Hugh Vail. I should have looked on YouTube, not here. Yeah, let me look in YouTube, like the actual app. Because I didn't know what this dude looked like, sounded like. Nothing like that. Okay, that one's a year ago. The name of the channel is, I think I have to or share my screen again. Let me see. Where am I at? Where's my StreamYard tab? Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it. Okay, the big red circle. Okay. So that's Hugh Vail. For anybody that doesn't know what Hugh Vail looks like. Another rich Mormon. Let's see. It wasn't this podcast. It was something wild. It's a girl. He's not hard to look at. I'm just saying. Simply Wild. There it is. 9 days ago.
Welcome to the Simply Wild podcast.
Yay.
I am your host, Sadie Jane, and we are
Relaxing.
coming back to the wild within us with every episode. Man, today we have a special treat.
Okay, first off, let me know what you think, but I catch the vibes of when we first heard Zalema Pastinez, who's basically another Ruby Frankie, really, if you think about it, with all her life coach and cuddling and, you know, she's directing and guiding people. She was, you know, said it was alleged or said hearsay early in the case with the kids with my family that Zalema was like working with Jason Mao trying to get rid of his anger issues, and you know she had done all this energy healing and studied under some other I want to say Greg Bear. It's spelled different. Anyways, and oh, what's his name? I went blank. The body. Oh my god, body code, energy, whatever. Wow. Not Christopher Parrott. It'll come to me. Anyways, it's just that podcast that she did with her name is Kira or something, and she sounded like a fangirl. This is the vibes I'm getting.
Special gift and something that I really don't take lightly. My beloved brother and friend Hugh Vale
Not
is
a real
here with
brother.
us to speak his story of accountability, to
3
speak his
hours,
story and his medicine and
30
how
minutes.
he has come back to the wild within him. Hugh, thank you so much
I'm
for
gonna put
joining
this in the
me.
chat.
It's good to be here.
I am so grateful. You know,
right?
I'm going to pull up your bio just so everyone knows who you are. But even before I get into the bio, I just have to share how we know each other.
Yeah.
Hugh came into my life in a time where I was not allowing any other masculine energies in. I had just learned some really pivotal lessons, as you guys know, if you've been listening to my story about the masculine. And I found Hugh, I'm not even really sure how, just some cowboy on the internet. And we started conversing and he invited me to come, him and Jeff and I, to come swim horses with him. And immediately there's something special about your energy and our connection.
Now, here's this ranch.
Not even maybe
Coming
a
up.
week later, you reached out to me and said, Sadie, I need to show you something. I need you to come to St. George with me.
St. George.
And I was like, okay, I'm here for this. So that really began a lifelong friendship, family relationship. You became interwoven into our family. My kids love you. Jeff and you are brothers and friends. But what transpired is you sent me to this ranch. We went to this ranch, to this random private ranch in the middle of nowhere, southern Utah.
Southern Utah. Y'all remember hearing that with Jody Hildebrandt worked somewhere over there with a ranch or something. Jesse Hildebrandt had mentioned it. And I just find that interesting as all get out. But anyways, it is a good interview. It's 3 hours and 25 minutes long. It's I'm trying to think of what's another keyword I can punch in that I remember writing it down, but of course I don't have my notes because I didn't plan on doing this. But I have been wanting to. Not going to break it down or nothing, just a few little and y'all don't forget. And I mean, I tend to do this too. I mean, I just really found it out because it didn't click with me. But Lynn Packer, when he was on Mormon Discussions or Mormonism Live with Bill Real and Radio Free Mormon, after, you know, he came out with, it was right before Elder Ballard passed away. So it was in November sometime. No, it was October 11th. I remember that now. This year. And they had him as a guest. And he just kind of can be a little more relaxed, I think. And when he's telling how he's, you know, instead of doing his op-ed series, he's just a little more open. But you have to kind of read between the lines a little bit because he's a man of integrity. Well, in that, I don't know why it hadn't clicked before. I'm late as usual. But Lynn Packer had, revealed that in 2017 there was also another meeting, and I'd say it's even more important and more jaw-dropping and shocking and just gross. Whenever all 12 apostles, not just one, you can't skirt around that. One, yeah, we see how they're doing, right? They're like the damn Matrix. They're like, or the blow up things at the car lot, right? They never get held accountable, and it's so infuriating to me. It is, and it pisses me off. How these higher ups, they use their patriarchal flex, their callings, their name dropping, who they know, who's in their circle, spiritual manipulation to the finest, right? Because if all 12 apostles that are underneath the leadership of the church, okay, and then there's the 12 dudes, they all work as one. 15. There's 15 of them. Quorum of the 15 or quorum of the 12. Anyways, and they all allege to speak or be a medium or channel. God talks through them, right? Like we heard on Cults to Consciousness earlier. When what's his name? Cults to Consciousness. I forget his name. Colby shared about the patriarchal. They've been told that, all that since they were little boys. And I mean, I kind of get it, but then I'm like, yeah, that's no damn excuse. It's, anyways, so you have all these guys and they're crap, because they're doing some shady shit, allegedly, and going to these meetings. We're talking all 12 of the apostles, President Nelson, the standing living prophet of the Mormon church right now. And he came into office or throne or what, I don't even know what to call it. I'm not being disrespectful. I don't know what to call it. He was elected. What do you do? Calling election major? That's a joke. Because I know that means, you're about to meet Jesus in the flesh on your way to your second comforter. They go hand in hand. Anyways, but so allegedly, according to Lynn Packer's reporting, President Nelson was like, sorry, can't go, so he didn't show up. So the president didn't show up, but all 12 of the dudes underneath him in his reign, in his prophecy, whatever you want, his leadership and their corporation, his board members, they all show up at this other meeting in 2017, in January of 2017. And then 2019, here you have a whole nother meeting. And I mean, that was jaw-dropping for me. I was just like, oh my God, President Elder Ballard was there. There it is. It confirms so many of my gut instincts, just where I was drawn to, right, was Elder Ballard, because I saw that Tim Ballard was in that speaking in the metaverse, right? In the Chad and Lori Daybell metaverse with Ruby, Frankie, Jody Hildebrandt, Ken Krogh, Rod Meldrum, Julie Rose in there somewhere, Tom Harrison. You have Janet Russin. You have all these, Hugh Vale right here. You have Dave Lopez. You have Paul Hutchinson. Just a drop in the bucket. It's just another freaking millionaire. There's another one that got convicted, I think, or he might have got out of it. I don't know. Nicola. Yeah, I missed that story because of Chad and Lori were happening right about the same time. David Levitt. You have all these guys in these high up people, positions of power. You got Glenn Beck. You have David Barton, who's not even Mormon. He's an evangelistic. He's an I can't do it, from Texas, and he spews the same kind of, how they say that Tim distorts history big time. They're like, no, and I've seen it for myself whenever Tim and Hannah Stoddard, another one, the Joseph Smith Foundation.org, or their YouTube channel, another speaker at these conferences. When they go and on the History Channel, they do a whole History Channel segment. You can find it on YouTube. And it's about the symbolism of the inverted pentagram. And they're like, no, it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good. And they're like, they blame all of us people for just being so ignorant and not knowing what the apron was for, and George Washington and a hammer. And I'm just like, oh my God, they're backwards. And they either know it and they're peddling it, or they don't know it and we're all screwed. Okay. That's why I was like, this is not just a me problem. This is not just I want justice. This is like, oh my God, friends, hey, look over here. There's a fire. There's a whole dumpster fire at the temple, so to speak. And that's where I've just been. I feel like I've been screaming at the top of my lungs for 4 years straight. And it's just now been exposed, or it's being exposed. And I'm grateful for that. But oh my God. Whew. It's like, hey, what all do they have to do over here? Oh, the other thing, Tim in his podcast last night was him and Catherine still holding hands, and he's talking about that murder, which I knew was going to come up. Interesting, right? He talks about that, and now Lynn reported on that also in his video op-ed series about it's a Haitian guy, and he was murdered. And Tim, had an Instagram, I want to say, post about it, like, oh, we're gonna miss him. Blah, blah, blah. And then right whenever all this stuff came out with the 5, with the women, with the lawsuits against Tim Ballard and OUR and all the other people. And when Tim said, oh, next thing you know, they'll be accusing me of murder. And I'm like, well, interesting words, And so now here he is trying to distance himself, in my opinion. So I don't know. It just, these people project so much. It's unreal. Let me see right here. Okay.
This is really early on in our relationship. And he called me up and he said, we got along really, really well. Try to put some context to why this phone call came. We actually got along really well. He's a very charismatic guy. Like, it was fun to be with him. And it was fun when it was fun, but when it wasn't, it wasn't.
I would have him on here if I could.
If that makes sense.
I would invite him on.
He calls me up and he says, I've been working with the president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles for the LDS Church.
Now, who's he talking about?
For a long time. He's read
my
right
book. Here. Okay.
Existed between Tim and I.
Oh.
And this is one of those concepts that's only grasped in the field.
Yeah, the mirrors, the reflections.
Mm-hmm.
Hold the mirror
the
up.
Inward understanding of why everything has been perfectly laid out for us to get us.
We're gonna watch this little clip.
Yeah, so I began to see that through the pain of the rupture of the relationship that existed between Tim and I, and so
can you go into a little bit? And whatever you're comfortable with. You were there with him for 3 years, one-on-one with him. And then was it that he continued to have more yes men around him and that's what shifted? Was it, a couple different experiences where you just like, oh, this is going in a direction I didn't feel comfortable with? And then what happened?
I think part of my accountable story to that is I have to be honest that I think I largely was a yes man.
You wanted to believe in him so bad.
I wanted to believe in it so bad. And I believe that I was that because I didn't have enough education about the industry,
do your own
about what was
research,
going on.
everybody.
And I also was really only there to like do social media and take notes on in big important meetings so that we could know how to like
How about the
tell the
meeting?
story of that. But one day he called me up and he said,
Oops, sorry.
I had started reading his books. This is really early on in our relationship. And he called me up and he said,
Oh, look. Oh, I
we
just
got
realized it's just another introduction through his books. Just like Chad and Lori, they're trying to say it's through the books. I mean, I'm just pointing it out. I don't know.
along really, really well. Try to put some context to why this phone call came. We actually got along really well. He's a very charismatic guy. Like, it was fun to be with him. And it was fun when it was fun, but when it wasn't, it wasn't.
It's all shits and giggles.
If that makes sense. And he calls me up and he says, I've been working with the president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles for the LDS Church for a long time. He's read my book, the one I'm reading at the time. And I'm like, okay. And he said, he's like a grandfather to me. Now, this is 2016. And he says, it's like a grandfather to me. And I said, are you guys even related? Because they have the same last name.
I
And he's
think
like,
they are.
weirdly enough, we're not.
Where's his
like,
chart?
no, we're not related. And he said, that President Ballard, that's how he always referred to him.
Come on.
Was very interested to figuring out how to actually solve the problem of child sex trafficking.
Stop.
Which who's
it.
not, right? And he said, I have a meeting with him, and I've been meeting with him for a couple of years prior already, and I'd like you to come to this meeting. Now, at this point, I'm just reading the book. I'm trying to get caught up on what he really wants his vision for how Tim is going to rescue the children. And I'm also doing a lot of social media, a lot of Facebook Lives. I'm following him around. We're doing lives, like, I think, on a weekly basis.
And you know who President Ballard is.
And I know who President Ballard is. And I knew that he was also meeting with some higher ups in other organizations, other religions, businesses. I think everyone was trying to solve this problem. And he says, I've got a meeting coming up, but this is a meeting that's consistently happening. And the reason that this meeting between him and President Ballard is happening is because they're trying to figure out how this book, the contents of this book, ties to this personal desire that President Ballard has in his own personal life.
Right. Why?
And I said,
Why?
okay, sounds good. So we go to the meeting and I find out what that personal desire is in President Ballard's life. And he says, I've been waking up, I've been having dreams, and my heart is so sad. And these dreams are very, very heartbreaking. And he says, I see so much pain in the people in my dreams.
Well,
and I wake up.
Look, open
and I
eyes
think,
in real life.
how do we heal the pain? And I'm like,
crimes against children.
I mean, that's like endearing, right? He's got this old guy's in his, I think at the time he was like in his late 80s. And he was very genuine to this, like misty, teary eyes. And he gave us some context, very generalized context, nothing in specific details, but that they were receiving a lot of phone calls at their church about different abuse cases and child molestation and stuff that's just happening in our culture and in our world more than any of us, more than it should happen, right? And what we realize. And so he's having dreams about this. And he says that his personal downloads, is what I'll call them. He didn't refer to them as downloads, but his personal answers to his prayers is that we have to figure out how to change the hearts and the minds of the people. That's what he said.
What, to the covenant?
And so I'm in this meeting with him and Tim and myself, and it's like, how do we do that?
Yeah.
So I asked the question, I said, so how do you change the heart? Like, tell me more, like, how do you change the hearts and the minds of the people? And President Ballard sat for just a minute or two, and he's like, Tim and I have talked a lot about this. And he said, I think you change the hearts and the minds of the people by softening their hearts. And so then I said, well, how do you soften the heart? This is like a long conversation.
You got a heart,
and
my
shortening
heart.
it down. And I said, well, how do you soften the hearts of the people? And he kind of sat there for a second, and he's like, that's what we got to figure out. And that was what he wanted to do. And he said, I believe that if we can figure out how to change the hearts and the minds of the people by softening their hearts, no child will have to be rescued. Because when we're living in a culture, in an environment like that, the children aren't trafficked. And so I felt like that was a really great articulation of a big vision of like, okay, it's very broad stroke, but
And at this
let's
point,
go down that rabbit hole.
yeah, at this point, OUR was rescuing children. They were on, they were doing jumps and all those things.
Allegedly.
Yeah, this is probably when you're like trying to figure out how do I help.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's trying to figure out.
Mhm.
Lindsay Sterling's trying to figure out how she can play the violin.
15.
So here's what's interesting, and here's some context that I think is worth providing. From the Mormon narrative.
Oh, she asked if
Yeah,
anything shifted
everyone's
in
trying to
him.
figure this out.
So did something shift in him?
Okay.
From the Mormon narrative, like how would you describe an apostle if you're in the
Exactly. This, I do believe that, because Elder Ballard is very well, his name has come up, and that's how I've gotten to know him throughout this case, was by my research into the second anointing. You know, whose name kept coming up in these sacred ceremonies, second anointings, was Ballard and Rasbin. Who's the other one? There were two. They were deemed zombies. Ballard. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. They became zombies. Oh, I have Reyes in my Ballard and Reyes. Ballard, you know, so it's like it'll come to me. Anyways, they became zombies, and it would have to be Melanie Gibb and David Warwick that wrote that, you know, infamous Reddit email, which was actually Nate Eaton's questions to Melanie Gibb whenever he did his interview with Melanie Gibb, when he interviewed her in April of 2020, a month before the kids' bodies were found. And Ballard and Renland are zombies. That's what it was. Dale Renland and Ballard. Why? So did Chad and Lori meet President Ballard, like at, let's say, right when he was writing when Chad was writing his James and Elena story? You know, and he even says in their love loin fire, whatever the hell, dumpster fire, trash fire, text message love story to Lori that grosses me out to all get out. But he, you know, Chad writes about and this is, I'm sure, going to come up in his trial, you know, where he's writing about the James and Elena and how they were sitting kneeling across from each other at the altar. Although they had been married before in, you know, prior lifetimes. It just goes without saying that they don't, I mean, it's secret for something. It's not my crazy. But anyways, this is what I've always thought. If somebody directed Lori and said, hey, you know, it wasn't through Chad's books. I think that's just a, what do you call it? I don't have words. So it's just something to throw it off on, kind of like Ruby Frankie or Jody Hildebrandt wanting Ruby Frankie's viewers. I was like, well, then why did she shut the damn channel down? Why would Chad and Lori build a freaking church right there? Right there. And then why would they go to Kauai? And that's the plan, right? That's the plan, not to sit there and build an invisible freaking church in their same town where Chad's from. Why did Lori move? It don't pan out. The math don't math up. So it's this weird backwards logic. I don't think that Jody Hildebrandt, she did move into Ruby Frankie's a little bit. I think it was to infiltrate, you know, run Kevin out, you know, so they could scissors. Anyways. I think I'm, yeah. Tourette's. Anyways, but I don't think that Jody, with her $3 million fortress there in Ivan's, Utah, you know, she's not like thirsting for a following. It's the kids that they're after for some reason, for something. I don't know for what or for why, or I don't know. None of us do. And the only people that do know is Jody and Ruby. They know. where they were wanting to go with that. What's their end game, right? And what would, I don't even want to do the what ifs. I don't try to play that game. I'm just glad that R escaped and got help for himself and for his sister and, all his siblings. I'm glad that this turned the nation's eyes directly back at Utah again and Idaho, the Mormidor right there in the thick of it, the high populace of Mormons. And I'm not anti-Mormon. I'm anti-corruption. I'm anti-murder. I'm anti all this bullshit. I'm anti-abuse. I don't want to see you good Mormons even be hurt and not persecuted. It's not persecution. It's like, hey, here's a life vest. Come on. We'll talk when you get here. It's like that. And so for all of those who have deconstructed and transitioned out of the church since, I have so much respect for you. And even in other religions, it can't be easy to go through life with a belief system, no other life, this is your life. Everything this is how you view your world. And I can't imagine. I try, I really do. I'm an empath and I can, kind of sympathize to a degree of what that must be like. And so you guys are the heroes. You guys are the warriors. You guys are the ones who have the most strength, the most endurance, the most love, compassion, self-respect, respect for the world, for everybody around you. It moves me big time, and I'm just proud of you. Let me just say that. I have a lot of respect for y'all, but because it's not easy, but anything easy is not worth having. So I just appreciate y'all for that. Anyways, let me shut up.
You're a Mormon.
Yes.
And who is an apostle? And then who's the president of the quorum of the 12 apostles?
It's the prophets.
Yeah.
Seers, revelators,
And
leaders of the church.
And then what do they do for their people?
Yeah, they gain inspiration. They clearly clear the path for everything. They guide, they teach, they lead.
They communicate with Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they communicate any kind of revelation, any kind of nowadays. What is that revelation? They get.
So at the time, Tim is he believes all of that you just said.
That he is.
That President Ballard
is an apostle. Okay. Yes.
Yes, is an apostle who's
Of
communicating with Jesus. And now you've got senior leadership in the apostle who's calling you up. This is like near the Pope calling up a Catholic.
Right.
It's exactly what it is. So can you imagine what that does to a human psyche, much less a guy who's a Mormon who was raised in this religion his entire life, Tim Ballard, being the yes man, yay, that's all he kept around him anyways, because everybody who didn't agree with Tim, who doesn't agree with Tim, is against him. They're dark. That's Lori, Ruby, Jody thinking right there. It's very black and white and very destructive and distorted.
A fundamental believing Catholic.
But can you imagine? I can't imagine, and I try again. Can you imagine your leader, the person you have? It could be Taylor, whomever your biggest idol is, whatever that is to you. Can you imagine if that person was just like, all right, yes, I endorse you. I love your message.
Pope calls you up and says,
there's some culpability
I can't
here.
figure this problem out, but I think you can figure this problem out. Like, what does your ego do if you're
absolutely.
that person?
I'm like, I'm putting on my cape.
Yeah.
I'm dedicating my entire life.
Yeah.
Complex.
And I think anybody would do that.
Yeah.
You just have to figure out what your organization is. You might not do that if the Mormon Church calls you up and says that.
Right.
And you might not do that if the Pope calls you up and says that. But gosh, if you believe in Donald Trump and he calls you up and says that, then
anybody on a higher pedestal.
Try having President Trump and President Ballard both feed into your ego. Wow.
For the greater good, anyone connecting to God.
And then the whole world, all the confirmation bias or whatever you want to call that, that Tim was getting the positive reinforcement, like everybody's just donating. I mean, just there's super chats flying, and that's just super chats. That's not the books, the juice, and the milkshakes, and the protein shakes, and the protein bars, and the branding, and all the things, all the money that was misappropriated allegedly. I'm sure they dropped $1 somewhere. And it's so gross on a massive scale. And so this burned a lot of people, and they may be more hesitant now to help others, when it's not at all. Tim he did more damage than anything. And I agree with Nonsense. If y'all please go subscribe to Nonsense. I love her take on things. And plus she lives over there in Arizona, and she can be she said she would be our court correspondent, to go show up for Melanie Pulaski Boudreaux hearings, Lori, and so Trace. And anyways, I'm just saying, go subscribe to her. I agree with Nonsense on this when she says that they should pull the movie. Angel Studios should pull the movie, The Sound of Freedom, so that doesn't follow. It's just because it's gross, and it's a representation of what has happened here. But there are no charges. There are no, not yet. I always say yet. But anyways, I'm back. I'm so glad y'all were here to do this with me. I don't understand it. I know we don't understand it, not to the full capacity. It's bad. And all these bad characters, all these yes men, right? They're all like, I mean, they're doing exactly what Ruby is doing to Jody, and Chad is doing to Lori, and Lori kind of did to Chad. And she definitely did it to her kids. She threw her kids under the bus. She threw my uncle under the bus, her husband at the time. Chad threw Tammy under the bus. These people are self-serving. It's a freaking pattern. So you best bet your ass that Jody is gonna throw, if there's, I'm not a legal person, so just saying, as far as strategy and things like that. That's what they're gonna do, because it's fend for yourself. They don't know. And I feel bad. I feel sad for them, because it's like they don't know what love even is. Oh, I just got that image in my mind of Melanie Boudreaux. I want to know what love, one of my favorite songs, favorite groups, right? Foreigner. I want to know what love is. Anyways, yeah. They don't know what it really is. And that's sad to me. It really is. So how can you love other people if you don't even love yourself? Everything is within this belief system is very conditional. It is very, you have to prove your worth. You have to be better and do gooder. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's never enough. And that's just here on earth in this life. We don't know what's after that. So, does it come down to wasting your entire life on this belief system who doesn't give a shit about you? And that bothers me, because you are the only you're ever going to be. Right? KJ, right? And that's big. It's important. Love yourself. I love you. But we have to love ourselves before we can even attempt to love others. Yes, we want to serve. Yes, we want to help other people. I don't know how to accept help. I'm just like, okay, well, what can I do? What you got? I got you. I mean, it's just who we are. But you as kind, you as important, you as kind, you as smart, you as important. And I love that little, the movie, The Help, that's where I learned that. And I love that. And so let's just do the best we can. I'm going to share my Mama Trey Hands quote right now. She used to tell me, sweep around your porch. which means worry about your dirt right here. Don't worry about everybody else's. They got to, if everybody sweeps their own porch, damn, it'd be a cleaner place, right? We wouldn't be worried about, Pete and Joe and James and John and all his friends. But we have to do work inside, right here first, self. In order, and I know that at first I was like, when Jen, she was like self-care, I was like, what? I don't even know what that is. I felt stupid. What is self-care? But I mean, I didn't know what that was. And I thought it was selfish of me to want to do that, but it's not true at all. Because if you're not here, if you don't take care of you, you're not going to be here to even be around for your loved ones. You're not going to be good enough. You're going to, your health is going to be failing. You're going to drag them down. They're going to be worried about you. You got to worry about yourself. And if everybody, including myself, got to do it. It's healthy. It's healthy boundaries. It's healthy. We have to nurture this first. And then, and only then, are we healthy enough to go and help others, I think. And then, not all of us are in line with everything. We learn and evolve our entire lives. So, yeah, courtroom insiders, right? Yay. The way Mel G. You know what? I ran across Melanie Pulaski and Brandon Boudreaux's custody papers, the court papers the night before last. And I read this one sentence and I was like, huh. And so I read it out loud just to Jason. I was like, let me know what you think. And he was like, he said it can be taken both directions. It could be, it's just the way it was worded. And it was from Brandon's attorney to Melanie Pulaski's attorney, or, it was father versus mother. And I thought about reading that here, but it's too long now. But maybe I can start with that one. There is nuance. Such a beautiful phrase, right, Lori C? You is smart, you is kind, you is important. I mean, it is. And so if a kid grows up and they're told that they're stupid, you're stupid. You don't mean anything. You'll never amount, then just negative talk, then they're going to believe that they are stupid, that they are not enough. You are not enough, right? That's a joke because that's one of Jodi Hildebrandt's titles of her books that I own. Bonfire, right? So anyways, it's just, you are enough. You do matter. Your life does matter. It's okay if we all have strained relationships. I find a lot more of people I love. It's like in my friendships, with you guys, people I meet along the way, even if it's just for a season or whatever, it's beautiful because we choose to be together, because we want to be, around each other, because we bring something and we receive something and we're not expecting anything. That used to trip me up, and it still kind of does sometimes, is my expectations. Nobody can read my mind. Nobody can read your mind. And when we have these, how things should go in our mind, or how they do go, how they play out in our mind, and then I used to get mad when they didn't, I'm like, well, that's not how I pictured that. What the hell? Why you didn't? You know what I mean? Like, that's projection. That's me expecting someone to read my mind, me not to communicate it, and then get mad at them when they don't reciprocate. Yeah, that's not right. And I mean, I really had to acknowledge it first. I had to acknowledge I even did that. Then I was like, okay, no. It's my expectations. I can't expect people to do something and they're going to do what they're going to do. I mean, you cannot, it's free agency. It's free will. People, you can say, hey, get out of that church. Stop believing in God. Don't believe in petunias. I mean, you can just say the things like what I like. It does not mean it's true. Just because that's what I want from you does not mean that's what you want. You know, so it's like we're projectors and we throw all this stuff on each other. You know, so anyways. Tim Ballard won't run. He's too hot for those that supported him. Won't push him forward. I know. I worry, you know, and so there's that channel I watch. I always forget her name, and I need to write it right here on my damn desk. It's she's from Canada. She is covering the Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt case for sure. Danielle Rachel, I love her. I mean, she I don't know. I just like, she's a truther. You know, you can just tell that she likes to research. It would be nice to have, you know, she's goes in depth and she's quick and she can kind of put the things out. I'm not organized. It sucks. But she had found some connections, which was what I was like, oh, okay. I know this. She fits in. Jody Hildebrandt fits in somewhere, and it's not just Tom Harrison. It's like they all just kind of migrate together within the same metaverse. I don't know what to call it. And it's significant, in my opinion. It's not just Chad and Lori. It's not just Chad's books. It's not just that. And we can't just keep chalking it off to that. You know, there's a lot of these people like Sean Reyes, in my opinion, who need to take everybody on this planet needs to be held accountable for the shit they put out. Good, bad, whatever that is. You know, it is what it is. If you do something that's not legal or that is deceptive or lying or for gain, notoriety, ego. It's that ego trip. And we see it over and over again. Money, power, sex. I mean, boom. That Lindsay Blake needs to go over to Tim and Sean's house and be like, money, power, sex. That's all. Right. So, okay, well, we'll end on this. This was, I got to go back to it. But I do appreciate you being here. This is 2018. Ken Krogh takes us on a tour of the OUR CrossFit facility and introduces us to Dave Lopez, right? In 2020, Dave did the right thing. His disavowal of Tim Ballard in the comments. Ken's name drops include Tony Robbins, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin, Tom Harrison, Russell Brunson, and Isaiah. I don't know who Isaiah is still. Okay. I mean,
Yeah, there's Tim. There's Tim right in the middle.
Now this one he boasted. Oh, now also he has a playlist on his channel. It's called Chad Daybell. Okay, and it's to do with the Daybell case. He also has Gordon Bowen on his playlist. I about messed my pants when I saw that live. I was like, oh my God, no way, you know. Anyway, so this is Ken Krogh. I have a video coming out on that, and yeah, I mean, all I gotta do is upload it.
Ken Krogh here. We're here at the OUR CrossFit facility trying to catch Dave Lopez. He's in this new documentary that they're rolling out about Operation Underground Railroad. I'm hearing he's here today.
Slave Sellers.
And hopefully he's got some time for us.
Eternal Core. Liberty 89.
Buddy. How are you, man? Dave Lopez, right? This is the guy.
Good to see you.
Now, okay.
Tour of the facility. Sure.
I gotta just mention this. Now, Dave Lopez, I do believe, is in Paul Hutchinson's Child Liberation Fund or something. He's in. Paul Hutchinson went and started his own nonprofit organization. They all have nonprofit organizations that are to eradicate trafficking. And I find this disturbing, in my opinion, because I don't think anybody's getting eradicated except for people out of their money. And they're stealing the spotlight, and it's not right. In my opinion. I don't know yet. I digress.
Okay. So this is like where it started.
Yeah, this place was, one of the
Thought it
ways that
started in
OUR has
California.
been able to capitalize on all those donations coming in is they've early on, Tim really wanted to think outside the box. And he wanted to find self-generating income revenue streams to help pay for administrative costs. So the idea behind this, facility.
What about the $12 million? I mean, this Tim Ballard, there's a lot of money that didn't go where it was supposed to, in my opinion, allegedly.
Was the ability to start a CrossFit gym that all the profit was made off the facility.
Why
went
are you
to
talking
cover
about
administrative
numbers?
Costs for OUR,
that's
which in
awesome.
turn allowed us to go to our donors and say, you can go directly to our
So the money's going to rescue kids.
Directly to rescue
So we got
kids.
T-shirts, we got
This wasn't pre-planned.
all kinds
Exactly,
of cool stuff.
yeah.
These
Amazing
really cool-
merchandise.
yeah, people kill for these little wristbands right here. So,
Yeah, I got some.
This is where it started.
This
right?
is it. Yeah, the origins was here. Yeah.
I understand. I mean, this is a pretty famous graphic. This is what everybody used to see. Is that right?
Yeah, this is early on, early days.
Now, she's like a CrossFit. Isn't this Tim right here?
Yeah, there's Tim. There's Tim right in the middle.
That is
Eyes
awesome.
kind of covered, and we know most of these people.
They're
are
way
here.
beyond this early facility, but this is where it's at.
All about
And
image.
you're just in town for the day.
Yeah, I'm just in town. I'm from
Wow.
Virginia, so I'm just visiting, and I love to spend time here whenever I can and get a good
Gearing up
look at
for the
it.
big launch of the documentary.
Yeah, we're very excited. Operation Two Saint is coming out.
It's
on
Toussaint,
July
where I'm
29th.
from.
That's right
So,
here, right?
Yeah, we actually have the new merchandise coming out.
Okay, you're repping the brand.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
we're very excited to get the word out about what's happening in
That's
Haiti and
awesome.
what's happening around the world in terms of this ongoing
Ken Krogh he's the co-founder of InsideSales.com.
fight.
He works on Google and, of all these mainstream platforms that we all utilize and monetize on. Keyword search.
against sex slavery.
Wow,
So we
like
want
17 countries now.
17 countries, including the United States now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's amazing.
You don't think Tim did
From
anything
where it
wrong?
started 4.5, 5 years ago to what's come now, and now all the celebrities that are getting behind it, all the
He's also the
notoriety of
Spear
different
Fund.
people are starting to
Ken.
really
Tony Robbins,
Roger up.
Tomlin.
Yep.
Now you knew Mike Tomlin, the Pittsburgh Steelers coach.
I've been checking him out.
It's strange. A SEAL buddy of mine asked me to come work with the Steelers, and Coach Tomlin
Okay.
just was wanting to make sure the guys were safe.
Let me copy
the
this.
guys that own firearms were using them safely. So I got to know a number of the players that way.
And
then I
then
got to know Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin, I ended up
I'm going to share it in the chat and you can go check it out for yourself. Okay. This is on the, I just put it in the chat. I think I said sent. Hold on. This is on our Mormon subreddit posted by Chino Blanco. So I appreciate Chino Blanco. They also contributed to the Mormon Stories podcast with Lauren and Mindy and Megan. The whole expose on visions of glory. That's why it's just Google thread of visions. Oh my gosh, let me get it together. Visions of a glorious thread, or put Ken Krogh, or just put Krogh, Ballard, Hildebrandt, Frankie, Daybell, Vallow. Put those keywords in, put, subreddit or whatever, and it'll bring you to this post. And you're just like, holy crap. They put this chart together, all kinds of things that are, it's amazing. I'm just like, it blows my mind. Here, we'll seriously end on this. the metaverse, right? And so I didn't finish this. This is just something I was working on. But let me see here. Let me see where I have one that's by itself. Oh, and I found that. Chad and Tammy in the Upper Mesa Falls, right? Hold on. Okay, here we go. Whoa. And I mean, this is just interesting how far and why. Oh, this is 3 different parts. I'm sorry. Let me back out just a little. Look at that. This is Chad and Lori right here. Okay. Julie Rowe, Ruby Frank, Jody, Tom Harrison, Eternal Core, Tim Ballard, Sound of Freedom, Paul Hutchinson, OUR, Nazarene Fund, Glenn Beck, Child Liberation Foundation. I can't see that. That's way too little. Operation Underground Railroad, maybe. Safe Haven Vaults, Attack Defense Systems, Slave Stealers is over here. Brad Brower, Ken Krogh, Knights Templar. That's interesting, right? Sean was knighted. Paul Hutchinson was knighted. Tim Ballard was knighted. I think Paul Hutchinson's been knighted quite a few times. Visions of Glory is right here. Maurice Harker is right here. Another one of those Mormon therapists there. And then you have Life-Changing Services, Connections, Russell Ballard. That's an important one, right? Indulgent Food. You have Russell Ballard's son-in-law, Brad Brower, which is a hard name to say together. Brad Brower. He's a reported backer, okay? And he's like that was for the for-profit organization that Slave Stealers, LLC, that for-profit that allegedly the late Apostle Russell M. Nelson was part of. Okay. But he's not here because he died last month. InsideSales.com. I mean, there's just, and the other one is Craig Ballard. You know, that's Apostle Ballard and Russell Ballard's other son, or, you know, his son. It's a big metaverse. It's a big ass metaverse, or I don't know how to say that correctly. But there's so much to dig into. It's endless possibilities. Sky is the limit. So I don't know. It's OUR Oral Roberts stuff. I don't know who that is or what that. Also, where are the women and the trauma-informed counselors and the emergency immediate aftercare? Jessica Moss. Oh my God. And Jessica Munoz. She works under the Spear Fund now, which is Ken Krogh, which is who I just shared, right? That's Tim Ballard. That's where he ran because he was just already thinking of retiring, but yet goes into another nonprofit organization where they already denounced him there, at least on paper. Yeah, wink, wink. Then you have the Nazarene Fund, Glenn Beck's crap, with Mercury One, which he's in business with, partners with David Barton. That's that evangelist. I said it. I said it. Yeah, and so I'll tell you who. Tom Harrison. He's a brain specialist. He fixes the brains on all the children's, the trafficked children's, trafficked children's brains. He fixes their brains. That's this. Tim Ballard says this. And whenever, they're rescued. I've got questions, issues, flags are flying. I'm surprised y'all don't see them just flying out my head right now. It's freaky. So then you have, let's just name some counselors here. Oh, you have Ruby Frankie, mental gymnastics therapist, whatever the hell, unlicensed. Tom Harrison, he don't have his license anymore. Still pushing the propaganda, right? Then you have Maurice Harker, bad things. There's all kinds of these people. There's David Hamblin, allegedly. There is all these shamans and holy shit. I don't know. My mind just went blank too. Y'all know. There's so many of them. And they were all recommended. They all were recommended. Not 4 out of 5 stars on Yelp or anything. That was like through the church. Adam Steed. I have some of his interview screen recorded. I think all together we could put it together. But hey, Rombo. I always hate hearing about Christians going to convert different cultures. It's just weird. It's sad. I just hate seeing people being controlled, or what do you call it? Bondage. You don't need anybody, a medium. You don't need anybody. You don't have to pay somebody, follow somebody, or worship somebody who just, has the word you're seeking right now. Do your own research, do your own life search. It's a journey, and we're going to change, we're going to evolve. And I just hope a lot of people stop allowing this abuse. It's rampant, and it's not just in the LDS church, it's in the Catholic church, it's in the Jehovah Witnesses church, Scientology, and all, you got the Jim Bobs and all the people. A lot of them blindly follow, and that's where my heart is. But anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday with some Chad Daybell. We're going to start on part 4. And I have some graphics to go with that this time. I have to figure out how to upload my GIF or GIF. I don't even know what to call it. I wish somebody would set me straight. But there's a GIF or whatever I'm wanting to upload. I just got to figure out how, because it moves. It's John Pryor's mouth that does this. So it'll just kind of be an image right here, just, for fun. And maybe I'll learn how to do some bingo before then, because I do have some time on my hands. The boys are gone this week, so But anyways, I love you guys. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. And love always wins. You guys are proof of this. Yes, Shanda Vendor Arc. Yeah, that's. I caught a little bit, and I was just like, oh, you have to have the energy for that shit. Wow. Love you guys. Y'all be safe. Be good, or be good at it. Bye.